We'll explore. We're at Natural Bridge, Virginia. This is the Natural Bridge. We're coming up on the back end of it. We've already been through it once, and we're coming out the other end of it. This was created through by a river, obviously going underneath the stone over a course of however many millennia. George Washington is reported to have surveyed this area in the early 18th century and left his initials here. Thomas Jefferson purchased this area and the subsequent 100 and some odd acres in 1774 from the king, which is even more interesting when you think about that time period. July 5th, 1774 is when the purchase was completed, and it was just 2 years later, almost to the day, that independence was declared. Over the course of a couple hundred years, many people who have traveled through here have etched their names or initials, dates, etc. And they're all over the place. Some remain, some don't. But almost exclusively they're on this side. There's 1885. Obviously, when these people took this over, they were no longer allowed to simply do this. This is JSD, and it's fairly recent. Well, no, the JSD isn't, but the little writing below it says 2013, so that's not. There's one over here that says J. Hay, 1855, and I'm going to say that's John Hay. And I don't see it now. It was up here earlier. Oh, it's down there? Okay. Here is where Washington is reputed to have climbed and etched his initials. He never, according to historians, he never referenced that he did this. And if he did, those are the only ones that you can see on that side from here. And obviously the river's flowed through here for forever, but he must have swam that river and climbed up those rocks and sat up there and taken however many hours it would take to chisel out your initials with a hammer and chisel. '84. 1810. What, baby? Oh, that's the one, hey? Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. People say, hey, 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 hey. Oh, there we go. J. Hay something 1855. I can't figure out what that says right there. I'm sure there's probably a book that says exactly who this was. I haven't read it. I haven't done any research on these people's carvings because I had no idea they were even here. I don't know, that might say Philly, F-H-I-L-A, maybe. But anyway, that's definitely J-H. Can't make out that last letter. That might not be an A. I don't know. I have to research that bad boy, see what's going on with it. But anyway, that's the natural bridge. There's a whole park built up around it. From the beginning of the time when this area was occupied by what are now known as indigenous peoples, they lived in this area and hunted, farmed, raised their families, lived their lives up until the European incursions basically wiped them out by the late 17th, or I'm sorry, by the late 18th century. They pretty much would have been gone from this area. The tribes would have assimilated into other tribes like the Seminoles did. The Seminole Indians were an amalgamation of Creek and a bunch of other different tribes left over. But anyway, that's some of the history of this incredible natural place. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the natural wonders of the world.